Something that I've heard a lot is people saying that they're bad texters, and I just find that very interesting, and I don't really understand it a whole lot because the average screen time is somewhere between 3 and 5 hours. I think if not even more for a lot of younger folks. And so if you're spending that much time on your phone, why is it so difficult for you to take 5 seconds to read a text or respond to a text, especially when it's someone that you would consider a friend? And double, especially when it's someone that you haven't spoken to in a while and it's someone that's reaching out and trying to maintain whatever semblance of a connection that you have with them. And what I mean by that is I I think that it takes so little effort to uphold your adult relationships. People say that it's really difficult to make friends and even to keep friends once you're an adult, which I'm I'm 21. I don't know a whole lot about adulting in general, but in the few months that I've spent post grad, I think that it really isn't that tough. You just kind of have to, and this is true even throughout college with your friends from high school. It all it takes is just a text or a call, 15-minute call every once in a while to catch up and just let them know that you care about them. And I think that that's one of the most valuable things in life is just maintaining those connections and letting people know that you care about them and that you love them. And it's just really not utilized enough in my opinion. I called one of my former roommates from college the other day and just talking with him, we chat every couple weeks. Obviously, he's going back to school in the fall, and I've graduated at this point. So, but I think we both kind of have this understanding that if we don't make the effort now, then the effort is never going to be made. And the last 3 years of us developing a friendship together is just going to go kind of by the wayside and is all going to be for naught, basically. And I think contrasting that with some of my other roommates, again, granted, I haven't been out of school that long, but if I don't hear from you in the first 2 months, or you don't hear from me, I know that that is a two-way street. Um, but there are definitely some people that I feel like I've tried to reach out to and make an effort to see them if they're nearby or give them a call every now and then. And it just doesn't feel like the effort is reciprocated. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't call or we don't text, but it's always kind of me reaching out to them versus them checking in every 2, 3 weeks and just seeing how I'm doing. I don't think that that is an unrealistic ask, especially for people that I at one point in my life was considering them they would be like in my wedding and stuff like that. These are people that I at one point thought were very good friends of mine, and it the connection that I was under the impression we had just doesn't feel as tangible once you're not in close proximity to them. That's true at every stage of life. There's people that you went to high school with or you grew up with in your hometown that you just lose contact with, and maybe you see them at the gym or at the grocery store or something when you're home for summer break and you say what's up, but they're not people that you check in with regularly, and that's probably because you didn't check in regularly with them when you saw them all the time. It was just kind of happened to be you were in the same spot at the same time. You were in the same English class or you worked the same part-time job. So you're kind of boxed in and forced to see them a lot. And so once that inorganic connection broke, there wasn't really much substance left. And so I get that that happens in college and in the rest of your life. But I think that just kind of chalking all of your connections up to that and just not really making an effort to uphold any of them is a mistake and is something that I am experiencing a lot with a lot of the people that I had relationships with over the past few years, and I think that it's only going to get worse. I think that the divide that is being caused by social media and people just developing like parasocial relationships with people online, whether that's celebrities or like Discord relationships with people that you don't actually know. I just think that there's so much danger in that kind of stuff. And this has kind of gotten away from the point that I wanted to make a little bit. But I just wanted to encourage anyone that may be watching this to reach out to the people that you care about on a regular basis and make sure that they know that you care about them and you know, or they know that you love them, because that is human connection is one of the most invaluable things in life. And it's not something that can be manufactured. It's not something that you can just put your head down and grind for. Um, and it takes time as well. It takes time and it takes effort. It takes a lot of time, but I don't think it takes a whole lot of effort relative to that time. If you're just checking in with someone every now and then, or you know you're going to be in the area, so you just text them and say, "Hey, what's up? I'm going to be in town this date. Do you want to get dinner?" And something else that I want to mention is don't just relegate all of your relationships to this kind of like minimum effort tier. This should only be for people that you it really is hard for you to interact with them on a regular basis because they live far away, or you're both just really, really busy with whatever you may have going on. But the people that you live near and, you know, you're both just working a 9 to 5, so like you kind of have some free time after work or on the weekends or whatever, you should be making an effort to see those people and to hang out with them and spend time with them, because it these relationships are not going to just sustain themselves on a 15-minute call every month. That is just kind of like a maintenance phase so that whenever you are able to see them because you're flying in town or going home for a reunion or something like that, it is those are the times where you are like really hanging out with them and making memories with them and spending your time wisely. The people that you're proximal to, that live near you, that you are able to spend a lot of time with, you should be making an effort to see them on a regular basis and incorporate them into your everyday life. This goes back to the I'm a bad texter thing. It doesn't take a whole lot of texts to coordinate plans. I mean, maybe there's some back and forth between time and place or whatever, but realistically, that is a 5-minute conversation max if you guys are both on your phone at the same time and texting back and forth. And if you have to play a little phone tag, that is what it is, but just make sure that you are making the effort to spend time with the people that you care about, because there's going to come a point in time where you can't anymore.